Welcome to the Read This channel. Subscribe. Support those who write today. Caleb Hart, City Without Sleep. The city of Ravenfold never slept, not because it was alive with nightlife, but because sleep had vanished from it. Skyscrapers, lit by cold neon ribbons, stretched toward the sky like frozen lightning bolts. Their glass walls reflected the endless stream of drones racing along aerial highways. The streets below had long become relics. Only those afraid of heights or technology walked there. Most residents moved between levels, from the 5th to the 40th, where the roads were wider, cleaner, and everything was infused with the Lucidium net system. People hadn't slept for 3 generations. The need for sleep had been replaced by neurointerfaces created by Lucidium Labs. A short daily session in a lucid connection erased fatigue with a gentle electric touch, reset accumulated stress hormones, and brought the body into a state of alertness. No dreams, no nightmares, no rest, only perfect productivity. But some, very few, still remembered otherwise. One of them was Miara Vent, a Level A neural network engineer working at the Stability Center. She was the daughter of a woman born in the era of sleep, and although Miara herself had never slept, she occasionally experienced strange episodes, brief lapses when it felt as if she saw fog, heard footsteps, but opened her eyes, and they were already open. Engineers called it phantom impulses and attributed it to overloads, but Miara knew it was something else, not a glitch, a calling.
Evening, like any other, streamed along the walls of Ravenfold in beams of light. Miara sat in a lucid capsule, preparing for a cleansing session. Her fingers habitually checked the connector at the base of her neck. A light touch, and the capsule sent a welcome signal. LucidNet. Session. 6 minutes. Status. Ready. A soft white half-light enveloped her consciousness, and Miara prepared to dissolve into the even, gentle sensation of endless rest. But that evening, the process went differently. First, a faint tremor, then a crack. Not physical, no, a crack inside her head, as if something had broken, not a bone, not an implant, but something more subtle. Then an image flashed. Not a lucid visual pattern, but a picture, as if someone else's dream had broken into the system. Before her eyes stood a strange corridor. The walls pulsed with fog, the floor soft like fabric. At the end of the corridor stood a girl, 8, maybe 9 years old, with dark, tangled hair. She whispered, "You forgot, but I remember." Then a sharp jolt. Miara screamed and yanked the cable from the connector, feeling a sticky stream run down the back of her head. Not blood, but cooling gel. She didn't understand. What was this? A hallucination? A dream? But there were no dreams in their world. There shouldn't be. The system monitor flashed red. Critical error. Session aborted. Diagnostics recommended. And another line, the one that should never appear. Visually emotional object detected. Code Dream Alpha. Miara froze. Dream. A dream. Such a thing hadn't existed for 40 years.
"Are you sure it's not just overheating?" Luna Hale, Miara's colleague, frowned as she scanned Miara's implant. The last batch of lucid processors had defects. "It didn't feel like a glitch," Miara said quietly. "You saw a picture that doesn't happen." "The girl." Luna froze. Then she gave a nervous smirk. There's no visual mode in the capsule. Do you understand where you're going with this? These are dangerous claims. Luna, I'm not crazy. The system itself tagged it dream. Don't say that word. Do you want the Stability Commission knocking on our doors tomorrow? Remember, any mention of dreams is classified as a potential cognitive deviation. Miara knew. Of course she knew. Dreams were considered an unprotected state of the psyche, chaotic and unpredictable. A society built on stability and controlled wakeful activity could not afford such a luxury. Anyone who spoke of dream-like sensations underwent correction. Sometimes they returned, sometimes they didn't. Luna carefully put the scanner away. Forget it, and tell no one, especially about the girl. But forgetting was impossible. That girl had left an unpleasant, precise imprint in Miara's mind.
The next day, Miara sneaked into the central LucidNet archive. She had high-level access, and her curiosity could be explained as routine diagnostics. She opened the system activity history. Lines of data streamed across the screen. Stability, 99.99%. No deviations. Event Dream Alpha not registered. Session number 713482 completed successfully. She froze. The event had been deleted, but not immediately. 12 minutes after the glitch. Someone saw it. Someone erased it and left a trace, a microscopic mismatch in the control hashes. Miara pushed deeper into the security layers, where the system signatures collected from every Lucid device in the city were stored. There she saw what changed everything. The last 48 hours, a surge of errors in the category unforeseen visual impulse, status ignored, unknown emotional pattern, threat level 0. Dream Beta, Dream Gamma, Dream Delta, dozens, hundreds, and all hidden. For the first time in decades, people had begun to see during cleansing sessions. No system could fully suppress it.
On the outskirts of Ravenfold, among outdated buildings, lived a man Miara had only seen in reports. Elian Sur, a specialist from the pre-lucid era of sleep. He was around 70, one of the last who had ever slept. She approached his house at sunset like a thief. The district trembled with the vibrations of the metro. The wooden door creaked mournfully. Elian opened almost immediately, as if he had been expecting her. "Come in. You've come because of the dreams." She stopped. "How do you know?" "Because I saw your trace in the system. I wondered who would dare dig deeper. Turns out it was you." The house smelled of old paper, a scent Miara hardly knew. "Dreams are returning," Elian said, pouring tea. "It was inevitable. Lucid suppressed them, but didn't kill them. Humans weren't made to live without sleep. Our brains remember it as a language spoken by thousands of generations." "I saw a girl," Miara whispered. "And others too. Hundreds." Elian exhaled deeply. "A girl? That's bad." "Why?" "Because when a dream returns for the first time, it comes in its most ancient form, the child form, an archetype." "You mean," Elian nodded, "you saw the first dream of humanity,
and it's trying to tell something. That night, the city felt fatigue for the first time in 50 years. People walked the streets with foggy eyes, complaining of heaviness and strange inner shadows. Long queues formed at lucid centers, but the cleansing sessions did nothing. Across the city, screens displayed a message. Dear citizens, LucidNet is undergoing an unscheduled update. Temporary delays and instability may occur. Everything is under control. But it was a lie. When Miata returned to the Stability Center, she saw chaos. Engineers shouting at each other, consoles flashing, alarms screaming. "What's happening?" she shouted, pushing toward the main node. The head of the department, Arger Valt, met her gaze, eyes wide with fear. "LucidNet isn't responding. It is sleeping. Do you understand? The entire network has entered a mode that doesn't exist. We no longer control the devices. They are working on their own." On their own? Connecting, synchronizing, as if trying to assemble something. And then, in the main hall, on the central screen, an image flashed. Pale walls, a long corridor, the same girl. Her eyes were wide open. This time, she wasn't whispering, she was screaming, and her scream plunged the entire city into instant silence. After the outburst, all contact with LucidNet vanished. Every neurointerface shut down simultaneously. People collapsed on the streets, many feeling true exhaustion for the first time in their lives, a fatigue they could hardly even remember. The city breathed heavily, like a living creature. Miata, Luna, and a few other engineers gathered in an emergency compartment. Their faces were pale. "What was she screaming? I heard, but not with my ears," Luna asked. "Wake up, or wake up all of you, I'm not sure," Miata said. Argervalt approached them. "We have a chance to restore the network, but we need someone who has already seen a dream, someone who can enter the system directly and locate the source of the anomaly." All eyes fell on Miata. She felt a chill creep inside her. I don't know if I can handle it." "This is an order," Arger said, though his voice trembled. Miata met Luna's gaze. Luna barely shook her head. "Don't do it." But there was no other choice.
She was connected to an experimental interface, not intended for human use. The cable went deeper than usual, straight into the central core of her implant. A flash, darkness, then light. And Mayara found herself inside that very corridor, only now it stretched infinitely, the walls alive, like the pulsating tissue of a brain. She heard soft footsteps. The girl stood nearby, eyes enormous. "You came. Good." Mayara swallowed. "Who are you?" "I am what you forgot. They removed me. They feared me. But I never disappeared." "You are a dream?" "No." The girl shook her head. "I am all your dreams, together. I am noise. I am light. I am the path by which the brain restores itself." "Why are you here now?" The girl held out her hand. Mayara noticed her fingers trembling as if from cold. "You locked me in silence for too many years, so long that the silence began to crack. And now I am waking, not because I want to, because I must." "You're harming people." The girl pressed her lips together. "I cannot return quietly. If dreams are suppressed, they return as a storm." And then the walls of the corridor shook.
Miara felt the space around her begin to break. Corridors shifted like liquid. Gaps opened in the walls, spilling foreign images, fragments of thousands of minds, hidden fears, unrecognized desires, suppressed memories. The city saw everything. Every person was laid bare. She screamed, "Stop! You'll destroy the neural network, and the people will start to sleep. It's only terrifying the first time. But Lucid will collapse." The girl stepped closer, almost pressing against her. "Lucid was a crutch. Now you must learn to walk again." Miara didn't know, was it a threat or help? Then the girl added softly, "I can leave gently, but I need your help. You must open the way for them." "How?" "Wake up first." A flash of light engulfed everything. Myra awoke at the laboratory floor. The air was thick, smelling of ozone and heated plastic. Technicians ran around. "She's conscious, vital signs rising." Her vision doubled. She tried to stand and only then realized her heart beat differently. Her body trembled not from pain, but from fatigue. Real fatigue. She had slept. A true sleep. And as she came to herself, the city around her began to change. Tens of people across Ravenfold began slipping into deep unconscious states, not from a glitch, but because sleep had suddenly returned. The first minutes resembled chaos. Transportation collapsed, drones failed, elevators stopped. Then silence descended. For the first time in decades, the city was calm. Argervalt burst into the lab, pale as chalk. "Myra, LucidNet has entered a new mode, unknown. We cannot shut it down." Lines flashed on the screen. Chest cycle recovery mode activated. Sleep function restored. Transition to hybrid neurostabilization in progress. Myra smiled through the pain. It didn't destroy the network, it rebuilt it. "It rebuilt it?" shouted one of the engineers. She looked at the screen as if she could see the girl there. "Dream," she whispered, "our true, ancient dream. It will no longer be suppressed." Luna approached, placing a hand on her shoulder. "And now?" she asked. Myra took a deep breath, feeling her body gently pulled back into warm, calm darkness. So pleasant, so natural. "Now," she said, "the city will learn to sleep again. And with sleep, dreams will return."
Weeks passed. LucidNet had restructured into a new hybrid mode. It no longer suppressed sleep, only guided biorhythms, helping the body enter it safely. People began to sleep, truly, some for half an hour, some for 2 hours. At first, the dreams were anxious, then vivid, free. Arger, once fearful of the slightest deviation, admitted, "I dreamed of my mother. I hadn't seen her in 20 years. It was like being alive for the first time." Luna laughed. "The first dreams will be like a child's, simple, about strange animals, strange people, strange skies. We all start over." And Miara thought of the girl. Every night she heard her footsteps, quiet, calm, but now not in fear, only in gratitude. The girl no longer screamed. She simply walked through her dreams, watching. And one day she said, "Now everything will be all right. You remembered." "Remembered what?" Mayada asked. The girl smiled for the first time. "That humans cannot live without the dark side of light, without shadows, without the mystery inside themselves." "Will you return?" "I never left.
I am your dreams. I am with you, always." And she dissolved.
Ravenfold had become a different city, slower, more alive. Softly lit shops appeared on the streets, sleep halls where people learned to lie down, to relax, to let their bodies sink into warmth. Children, the firstborn after sleep returned, laughed differently, louder. They dozed in strollers, and the sunlight seemed gentler. Mayara sat on a skyscraper roof, watching the sunset bleed into night. And for the first time, night felt not like something superfluous, but a promise. She closed her eyes. In the distance, the city sighed. Lights softened. Silence filled with breathing. She smiled. "Good night, Ravenfold." And the city answered her, not with words, but with deep, long-awaited sleep.